We're getting you some breaking news now. This time it is coming from the national capital where Congress party has begun its march towards the Enforcement Directorate headquarters. Remember, the opposition has been demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe into the Adani-Hindenburg issue, and they also have been stalling the proceedings in the parliament. Now they are marching towards ED office. My colleague Arunima has a ground report that she's filed for you guys. Let's take a look.
So the opposition's march is beginning from gate number 1 of the Parliament House. There are banners and posters that they are carrying. What these members of the opposition are demanding from the Enforcement Directorate is probe in the Adani issue. The banners and posters that are being carried. You can see there, PM's friend scam, जनता के पैसे की लूट, JPC अडानी पर बहस करो, JPC से जांच करो, जनता के पैसे की लूट, अडानी को खुली छूट. So these are some of the posters and banners that the members of the opposition are carrying here. They plan to march from here till the Enforcement Directorate office and demand that the ED director start a probe into the Adani issue. The draft memorandum, which they are calling a complaint to the Enforcement Directorate, they claim that the Directorate must not forget that it has to probe any scam. So the march is about to begin. Looks like they will be stopped at Vijay Chowk, where police bandobast is at its maximum.
Let me actually bring in Anshul, who is standing right at Vijay Chowk. Arunima was bringing us that ground report from inside the Parliament premises from gate number 1, from where the Congress was beginning that march. Now let me actually bring in Anshul at Vijay Chowk, where possibly this particular march is going to be stopped or stalled at. Anshul, what is the development that's coming in from there? What do you see around you?
So yes, as soon as the news broke that the march has started inside the parliament, the Delhi police has amped up its preparation out here on the ground. I'll try and show you in the visuals that a huge battalion of Delhi police is already deployed over here. In fact, several layers of barricades have also been put in place just to make sure that the MPs who will now walk out of the parliament anytime now, they will be stopped right here. And if at all they do not agree to stop their march right here at Vijay Chowk, they would be detained from here. If you could see, there are a number of buses that have already been deployed. In fact, senior police officials are already on the ground because they know that they will have to speak to these leaders and try to convince them that they cannot take out this march, because Section 144 has been imposed. Posters of Section 144 in fact has been put out in this area, which clearly states that you cannot protest in this area since it is a very, very high security area, because the President House is right in front of us, and on the other hand is the Parliament House. So yes, this is a very, very high security area. In fact, very many VVIPs travel through this route day in and day out, and hence it becomes very, very crucial for the Delhi police to make sure that law and order is maintained in this entire area. And that is the reason why we are seeing such a massive bandobast that has been put in place, just to make sure that once the MPs step out from the vicinity of the parliament, they are stopped right here at Vijay Chowk and they wouldn't be allowed to march towards the Enforcement Directorate. So yes, it remains to be seen as to when will these MPs step out, since the march has already started at gate number 1 inside the parliament. Will they be allowed to even reach over here? Because that is the biggest question. A lot of police battalions have also moved right on the gates of the parliaments as well. So yes, it remains to be seen as to how many MPs would actually be able to make it through to this picket that has been placed out here by the Delhi police. On the other hand, if I could show you in the visuals, there is another round of barricading that has been made. In fact, several hundreds of officers have also been deployed over there. So if at all anyone manages to get through these barricades, they will be stopped at the other barricade. So yes, the message from the administration is amply clear that the MPs will not be allowed to carry out this march to the Enforcement Directorate. They do not have the requisite permissions to do that, and hence the Delhi police is making sure that they leave no stone unturned in making sure that the law and order situation, especially in Lutyens Delhi, is maintained.
What we saw play out yesterday outside the gate of the parliament is that there were 3 separate protests that were going on. One was being spearheaded by the Congress party, the other one by the TMC, and a third one by the Aam Aadmi Party, BRS combined. Right now, what we are telling our viewers is this particular protest march to the ED is being led by the Congress party. Do we have other opposition parties involved in it under the Congress banner? Will there be an Aam Aadmi, BRS or TMC in it, or there are separate protests that are happening when it comes to these political parties?
Well, definitely the message that has come from inside is that the like-minded parties who are of the same view of the Congress party, they are going to join into the protest. But yes, as you rightly mentioned, that the TMC has not been joining in the meetings of the Congress party, and also BRS has also said that they are ready to join in the protest, but they will not march under the leadership of the Congress or under the banner of the Congress. So yes, the message that has come is that like-minded parties are going to come. These like-minded parties may include the likes of Shiv Sena to Samajwadi Party and to RJD and JDU as well. So yes, these are the few parties that are going to be a part of this protest. What other parties will be a part of this protest? That is something that is still not very clear, because the Congress party still doesn't know as to who are the parties who have agreed to actually come on board and go ahead with this mission of the Congress party to reach the enforcement directorate. Initially, the information came that 16 opposition parties might be a part of this protest march, but yes, the information has been retracted as of now. So we do not know as to how many parties or how many members of how many parties would be represented in this protest march that is going to be carried out. But yes, the Congress party says that like-minded parties are going to come in, whereas the TMC has clearly said that until and unless Adani Row Chaudhary is removed from the Congress party, the TMC would not join hands with the Congress. On the other hand, the BRS also has come out and stated clearly that yes, they will join in the protest. They are in word with the Congress party, but yes, they are also not going to march under the banner of the Congress party. So yes, this try by the Congress party to unite the entire opposition under a singular problem, it seems like failing at this point in time. So yes, it remains to be seen as to how many
On that
political
note,
parties
Anshu,
would
let me
actually
also
be
bring in
represented in this
Pallavi,
march.
who's joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, I'd like to understand from you, even as we wait, if at all that march from the parliament to the ED office is really allowed by the security forces in the national capital. We really want to understand that there was a strategic meeting, a key strategy meet of all these like-minded parties, and we'd like to put this within quotes on what really and who are these parties that constitute to being like-minded with just the Congress or with just the TMC or AAP and BRS combined. What really happened in the chambers of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge today?
So the like-minded parties actually have been meeting over the last 3 days, and usually the Trinamool Congress has always skipped it. Though interestingly, the Aam Aadmi Party has also been a part of these all-party opposition party meetings. So what happened today is that they've decided that since the government is not budging on a demand for debate and discussion on the Adani issue, they're not also agreeing to a demand for a JPC, let's step up our attack. Now the problem for the opposition is that unity is becoming a mirage. So they thought that if we are also going to talk about ED and CBI being misused, then perhaps more and more parties who till now have not been a part of the opposition front will join us. So there has been a small bit of a breakthrough when the BRS has agreed to become a part of this march. In fact, K. Kavita, who's a MLC from BRS, has gone on record to say that I think it's a good idea of the opposition and we would very much be wanting to be a part of it. But Trinamool Congress remains adamant.
Okay.
See, their grievance essentially under any umbrella by the Congress party has been one, the Congress's alliance with the left in Bengal. Two, the fact that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, a known Mamata Banerjee beta, keeps on calling her a B team of the BJP, heads the state unit.
All right. Like you mentioned about TMC, Pallavi, we also know how the Trinamool Congress they in fact stage a protest at the Gandhi statue. Now they are talking about the rise in LPG prices. Will all of this not be a deterrent when it comes to opposition unity? Of course, this is the one question that we've been asking for so many days now on where does the opposition really stand. On the one hand, you've somehow got more or less most of the political parties in the opposition who are deciding to move in with the Congress and be part of this protest march. On the other hand, there is a TMC talking about price rise when it comes to LPG and other issues. How does one read this?
Well, I mean, one reads it as a lack of complete unity and coming together on one common issue. Look, I remember till the last budget session, the first part of it, TMC was very much speaking with one voice with the rest of the opposition when it came to people's issues. They were in fact also speaking together on the Adani issue. This time round, they've maintained that distance. They have become against the idea of a JPC because they feel a court-monitored probe is a much better idea than having a JPC being set up. But look at the people's issue focus which the Trinamool Congress is putting on. I think the TMC's calculation is very simple. You know, whenever you do these things like Chaukidar Chor Hai, the Adani's proximity to the Prime Minister, it doesn't really work politically speaking. Rather take up issues